Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen,
Hi, I'm Mike Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man.
and you're watching AFK, the AFK show, our favorite show on the planet.
One of.
One of. So you're watching the right show. Keep watching, and keep watching.
And keep watching. And keep watching. Don't stop.
That's my cheering section back there. Love my coworkers. How are y'all doing today? Gosh, I am so honored to welcome our first guest. Nichelle Nichols is most famous for her role as the communications officer, Lieutenant Uhura, aboard the USS Enterprise on the popular Star Trek television series, as well as the succeeding motion pictures where her character was eventually promoted in Starfleet to the rank of Commander. Now, Nichols' Star Trek character is one of the first African-American female characters on American television not portrayed as a servant, and it was a groundbreaking moment in U.S. society at that time. Now, civil rights leader, you probably don't know this, Martin Luther King Jr. personally praised her work on the show and asked her to remain when she was considering leaving. Now, don't forget, we're going to welcome her to the stage in just a minute, but I want to remind you, don't forget to stop by her table when we're finished, get an autograph, get a picture, and I want to thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for coming out to the Heart of Texas Comic-Con, and this was all, of course, made possible by our sponsors. Bankston's comic books and collectibles are located on Valley Mill, so check them out. And, of course, us, KWTX, which we are your local CW network. So also please like us at HotCon on Twitter and follow these guys on Facebook. So I'm so honored to meet this wonderful character, Nichelle Nichols. How are you doing?
Say howdy.
That's what we say in Texas. Howdy. Yeah. Have you been to Waco before?
Yes.
You have?
Some years ago. And so it's really nice to be back and see it hasn't changed a whole lot.
Oh, we've had some changes, just a few changes.
Yeah, important ones.
That's right,
yeah.
That's right. All right, so we're going to talk about your time on the show. Gosh, how did that all start?
What about what?
How did that all start? You getting into, I guess, even just getting into television?
I don't know. Gene Roddenberry created the show, and at the last minute that I knew about it, you know, because I hadn't heard about it, I'm getting this call from my agent saying, get over to wherever it was. They want you for a television show. And I said, oh, so I thought a guest, you know, a day, a night, guest appearance. And I got there, and they had contracts. And saying, we're doing this show, and cause it Star Trek or something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And here's a lead role that was written for you.
Written for you.
For me, yeah.
How amazing is that?
And, well, I just sat there like...
shocked.
There's some things you can't even say anything about to, you don't go, you think you would go, oh, that's wonderful, what is this all about? And I'm going,
nothing. Just shocked. Nothing.
Would you like to do it?
We'll take that as a yes.
Yes. Do you need time to think about it? I mean, we could talk tomorrow.
No. What was it like? I mean, I was reading a few minutes ago that you were one of the first African American actresses in a series like this, in a character such as yours.
It was the first.
What was that like for you?
Lonely.
I can imagine that.
It's kind of what they say, lonely at the top. Mm-hmm. But I got over that pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. I enjoy my work, and I enjoy creating a character, and that's what they had me do. So they hadn't. He knew that he wanted me in the show. And so he called me in and he said, so we have to create this character for, and I'm going, what character? And he said, oh, didn't your agent tell you you're being signed to star in this? I was just like.
Just shocked. One of the things I remember about.
Cool.
One of the things I remember about Star Trek is like the costumes.
Yes.
Now, I know I'm not very made up right now, but I love playing dress up.
Yes.
Talk to me about the wardrobe.
The wardrobe people. Hello?
Oh, it's just something out there in the hallway.
The wardrobe people weren't quite sure. They were the first costume was pants.
Okay.
And for everybody, and I said, I went in and I said, I think there's something wrong with the wardrobe. They said, oh, is there, you can't zip it up or what? And I said, no, we just all look alike. And they, what did you want to look like? I said, a woman.
Okay. All right.
And guys should look like guys, and women should look like women. And it's time for television to take this on and do that. And so the designer was like, she's going to do everybody's job, But then the producer, Gene Roddenberry, said, why don't we do that and see how it looks? Because that was one of the things that was bothering me, But I was going to talk to you about it, but she's jumped the.
So you wanted to make sure that you helped create the woman's role, which is very important.
Yes, and. So it all turned out really well.
It sure did.
Yes.
Being in television, I can definitely appreciate all the cinematography involved in that, all the cameras, all the green screens, and all that other kind of stuff. Talk about the technical stuff. Was it easy to shoot back then, or?
Yeah. Well, we had that circle on the bridge, and it was created in segments. So you could take out this segment so you could shoot across there, or any of the 6 segments. And that made it really, really nice because you didn't have to adjust to something like, don't put your back to the camera.
Right, right.
But if the camera's over there and shooting this way, I can't do the thing like this, So they did it in segments, and
how long did it take to shoot one episode? I can imagine it probably took a while.
It took like maybe a week. Never more than, I think there were 5-day shoots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, segments. And we just did them, you know. It was so well written and so tightly written that you had, when something is written that tight, you feel like you're not going to have room to
adjust.
And move. But it was written tightly, but with room to adjust. You know,
flexible.
like it was almost written like in segments. So you could move this segment and over there and do segments in and out of context, you know.
Can I ask, do you have a family, a husband, or do you have children? And did you have a family while you were working in television?
Yes. I had a couple of husbands in my life. But I have one magnificent son, Kyle Johnson. And when he was, he loved to go with me. I came out of the theater, and so I was still doing theater when I was cast in
Star Trek.
And so Gene Roddenberry was so what's the word? Willing.
Willing.
Yes, to
accommodating.
And accommodating, you know. But at the same time, tight.
He wanted it done.
You know.
I can attest to that. We've got some KWTX folks in the house. Same way. They're flexible, but they want it done.
Yes.
Do you want to open up the floor to some questions?
Say what?
Would you like to open the floor to some questions now?
Oh, absolutely.
Are there any questions in the audience?
Ha! Here it goes.
Uh-oh.
I want to get the Q&A started. If you have any questions for Lieutenant Uhura, please line up behind me. We have room for a lot, so I mean, this is really your chance to ask her anything you've been wanting to.
Oh, good.
Yes.
What is your favorite?
Ladies, so far they're all men.
I know.
Oh, there's one. There's two.
They're coming.
Right
They're coming.
on.
What was it like the first time you walked aboard the USS Enterprise? Like, what was that like for you?
I thought it was the USS Enterprise.
Oh, it's so cool.
It was so well designed. You really felt that you were on the ship, you know, and at the command post, you know. And then I had done a job for the United States of America. I was on the contract and recruited the first women and minority astronauts for the space shuttle program.
All right.
The actual people.
All right.
And so our show had just gone on. And as it turned out, I'm doing two jobs at once. And I almost said the real people, but the real astronauts and the astronauts that I was
working with on the show.
Yes, I actually recruited the real astronauts.
Wow.
For the United States.
Well, we can thank you for your service then.
Yes. and then they said. Now, we don't want them to all look like actors. And I said, they are actors. And they said, you know, like, don't go there. You know. And I said, they are actors because they've already seen us on television as future science fiction people. You know, we're science fiction people as who these people are going into space, you know. And we are going into space for real. And so television is following reality where reality used to follow television.
All right.
And so it was doing both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hello. I heard that after the first season, you considered leaving.
Would you back off from
Sure.
your? Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Then I could hear it.
Okay. I heard that you considered leaving the show after the first year, and that Martin Luther King spoke to you personally, about your role on television. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit, on your relationship or what he said to you.
I'm an actor. I'm a singer. I'm a performer. And so I had just landed a job on Broadway. And that was my dream. That was the theater, even before for TV. And so I was going in 2 days back to New York. And if I had done that, we wouldn't be sitting here now, because I would not have done Star Trek.
Do you remember what it was about what he said to you that made you stick with the show? Did he say, hey, Nichelle, you can't do this. You can't leave.
Yeah, I said, I'm going to leave the show. And he said, you can't. What you talking about, Dr. Martin Luther King? He said, you cannot.
Why?
Because there are young people, women and girls, who are going to be you. They're going to be in the real space program. You are presenting to them what it's going to be like, what it's, that it's not just, fluff. It's for real. And you go in there and do that for those people, because those are your fans. And among those fans are the real people that are going to be, and I go,
to be inspired,
wow. Yeah. And I said, you really know how to lay it on a person, don't you? And he said, that's what you're here for. That's because you're qualified to do that. Never walk away from what you're qualified to do. And I thought, wow, if Dr. Martin Luther King can say that to me, because when he first said, I wanted to say, what you talking about, Dr. Martin Luther King? I'm an actor. You're the future. Yeah. You're portraying the future. And there are young people and there are older people that are, this is something that's opening up that we don't know anything about. And this is our future. All right. The United States space program, and it was. And they put it to me to make help the world to see that.
And to change.
And that's as opposed to just a television series.
Character, right.
That's for real, All right.
Thank you.
And so I was really proud to do that.
Next question.
Going from Star Trek as a TV show into...
I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me? All right. Going from Star Trek as a TV show, going to the motion pictures, how was the transitioning going from the small screen to the big picture? And which Star Trek movie was your personal favorite one?
Okay, so what was it like going from the television series to the movie? And then which...
Out of the original 6 movies, which one was your favorite?
And then which of those movies, which 6 movies were your favorite or was your favorite? So first question, what was it like going from TV to the big screen?
It's what I do. I started in theater, and then I was discovered in theater, went into television, and discovered there's a whole new world to create in front of a camera, and it was like, and then discovering that although I'm acting on people really thought I was a
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there were young people who really thought that I was
that you were an astronaut, or
no. What did I portray?
Uhura, that you were the character.
Yes, of the character, and that it was for real. And of course, we were portraying the real thing,
So in shooting the TV series and then in shooting the movies, was it different? Was the style different, or were the camera
yes,
shots
there's some
different,
difference, but it's different and it's the same.
Did you ever get tired? Did you ever get tired? Were you ever tired? I know.
Tired?
Yes.
I stayed tired. No, I loved doing it because there was so much creativity that suddenly was my job too, and as opposed to the writer or the director, to actors. So, like for a long time, directors and creators allowed you on to do their words and so forth.
You got a promotion too.
Yeah, and I said to them, if it weren't for actors, your work would never be seen. And they said,
so were you putting them in their place?
I never thought of that. I said, well, think of it. Because actors, a lot of time, actors were not looked up to.
Right.
Right.
So which one of those movies was your favorite?
Oh, my God. Any of them. They were so well written that we literally couldn't wait to get to work.
God, that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yes, real question from when you were making the TV show back in the 60s, did y'all see, as far as the cast, as the social change was going on, as far as you being an African woman playing a major role in a TV show that not having done before, and where you were not typecast?
Okay, say that one more time because I'm having a hard time hearing you.
The question is?
So the question was, did y'all, as a crew, as the cast, did y'all see that y'all were making a change socially because of the time period with the social change going on in the country? Did y'all see it as something that the show was bigger than it was portrayed to be?
Okay. Did you understand? Did the show seem bigger than than just a television show, since there was a lot of social change going on in the country?
Yes. Thank you for that brilliant question. But there was a lot of social change going. It was right in the middle of the entire social change in America. The first African American actor on television.
Did they make a big deal about that at the time?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, okay.
People, they looked on her. Come quick! There's a black lady. She's on television, and she ain't no maid.
Okay.
That was for true. That came out. I heard that this little boy had said this, and I laughed and I cried. For real, the reality of what this child was saying about our lives, and who we are. And Star Trek changed the face of television forever. And so it changed society.
I know we're all more imaginative now.
And to have been chosen to portray that was, it was like acting and a reality at the same time.
Would you call it an honor?
Oh, God, yes. And a responsibility. Not only an honor, which is, like me, but a responsibility to all my people,
Next question.
Yes. On the show, how much has it changed your life to be on there as a character?
What?
How much did it change your life on the show? How much did it change your life being that character?
Immeasurably. Immeasurably. But I'm proud to say that my being on it and it changing my life was not just about me. There were so many young women, black, white, yellow, brown, red, who were seeing a woman on television for the first time. We don't think about that. As someone other than a servant or a singer, you know.
Or
Either
a housewife,
Yes.
or a maid, or
Yeah.
a teacher,
Well,
or
weren't even that.
a nurse.
You know, because black people weren't in television. You didn't see them. I was, if not the first, among the very first.
Did you notice any? I don't want to say did people notice you were black, but were you treated any differently at all walking into the studio or into the?
I don't know how anyone else of color was treated, but I know what Gene Roddenberry did with Star Trek. And there was no such thing as class difference, you know, unless we were portraying it
On the show.
and cleaning it up for them, you know, so showing it how it is and showing them how it's supposed to be. And Star Trek was written up as changing the face of television forever.
Next question.
Would you speak on your recruitment efforts for NASA, please? Where did you find the applicants specifically?
What was the question?
Where did she find the recruiters for the
Oh.
space program?
I believe I know what you mean. A lot of my fans were, I should say, a large proportion of
I'm sure they were fans.
who fights of people in society saw me on television for the first time, and there was someone that said that they ran to their mother and said, Mother, come look quick. There's a black lady on television and she ain't no maid. And so that was what we had known before Gene Roddenberry got Star Trek on there. And you saw actors portraying who we really are, and not some made up, you know, slave or.
You said there were real astronauts on the show, or you recruited some real astronauts.
Yes.
Where did you find them?
Had my greatest fans at the White House.
That's a good
and
place.
they were getting ready to recruit the first women and minority astronauts.
Okay.
They came to me and they said, we're having a little problem, and we wondered if you would come in and talk to us. I said, of course. So it's my country, yes. Call me. And I didn't know what it was about, and they wanted me to assist them in identifying and recruiting the first women and minority astronauts for the Space Shuttle program.
How did you recruit them? Did they do like television?
I told
ads,
them
like
I would
PSA?
be happy to do it.
Okay.
But I would do it under contract to NASA.
Oh, so you were paid by the government.
You dang right.
Smart.
and I would create this, but they couldn't tell me what to do. I would tell them what I was going to do if there was a problem, a reality of something. Then I would change it. But I wasn't working for them. I was working for the American public.
All right.
And it just turned out that they said, fine, do it your way. We've got to get this done.
We just got to get it done.
And you're the one who can do it, because Star Trek was very, very popular.
So you've had civil rights leaders make demands. You've had presidents make demands. You're a pretty special lady.
It was special, but it was such an honor. I was shaking like a leaf while I'm telling the whole world how great NASA is and our space program and so forth. Like I knew like I was calm about it. I knew what I was talking about, but I wasn't in the least bit as calm and collected as they assumed I was.
That you would be. Okay.
That's where being a good actor comes in.
Next question.
How do you feel about Zoe Saldana playing as Uhura in the new Star Trek movies?
How do you feel about Zoe?
Oh, Zoe Saldana?
Saldana playing your character.
Zoe Saldana, I guess you all know who she is. I got a call from someone who said, "Do you know Zoe Saldana?" And I said, "No. Isn't she an actor?" And they said, "Yes." And she wants to meet with you. I said, "For what?" "Well, she's going to play you on television." What are you talking about? "Well, not exactly that. Tell her to call me." She calls me, and I that's when I found out that there is a new recruitment on the way. And I invited her to my home. And before she got that, I got a call from NASA.
Again.
Who told me what was up and so forth. And she came over. She was so nervous and brilliant at the same time. You know what I mean? And I just fell in love with her. She was just I said they chose the right person. And she sat at my house and cried. And I laughed at her. And she said, "Don't laugh. I'm scared to death." And so I said, "Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to come over to my house every Tuesday.
Okay.
And we'll work on this and so forth, and you're not going to be afraid. You're going to be that person."
All right.
That
was nice of you to invite her to your house. Did you cook for her?
Oh,
I'm a foodie, so I had to ask.
She came over with an appointment around 12:30 or 1 o'clock, and she was nervous, coming to my home. And I just happened to look out the window when she was coming down the street, coming toward my house. And she was going like, and then she stopped and she went like, like that. And then she put it back and she goes like, and she was determined.
She was getting herself together.
And so I didn't tell her that for years,
you knew that, yeah.
But she came in and we worked, and I said, "You're going to be the first female astronaut in the space shuttle program, and you're going to be fantastic," because I knew she was, and she knew what she was doing, who she was. Yeah, she knew it. And I'm really delighted with that.
Next question.
Who was your favorite character in the set?
Who was your favorite character on the set?
It depended on which day it was. Sometimes it was Mr. Spock. Sometimes it was Captain Kirk. Sometimes, according to it was Uhura. And I got to name the character.
Oh, did you?
Yes. They said they didn't want her being particularly American or particularly not.
Where did you come up with that name?
From the Swahili, Uhuru.
And what does it mean?
Peace.
All right.
Freedom,
Okay.
Peace and Freedom. Yeah, it's interactive, and so I softened the N because the word is Uhuru, and I made it Uhura.
All right.
And
That's
there
very
we go.
good. Next question.
Did they ever ask you to be on the Next Generation show or do anything with that show?
Did they ever ask you to be on the Next Generation show? Or to maybe consult or be involved with that at all?
The Next Generation. Didn't I do the Next Generation? Wasn't I on the Next Generation? I don't remember.
I think that's the more recent series.
Yeah, no, I don't. I swear I don't remember. But we were all good friends. Yeah, and they were concerned that the original Trekkers were going to hate them, because
they're the
they've
new
got
kids
the
on
show,
the block, yeah.
And they weren't.
Okay.
We weren't. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
You successfully moved from playing a character that traveled in space to flying on the the aeronautical observatory. And what was that like?
Okay, say that one more time and speak just a little bit louder.
Okay. You were successful in moving from playing a character on TV that traveled in space to actually traveling. And tell us about your flight on the observatory.
Tell us about your flight on the observatory.
On the
observatory?
Oh.
Did you fly in space?
Yes.
Oh,
The
my
astronomical
Lord.
observatory.
Are you serious?
It was as exciting as you can imagine. It was. I went on there and they treated me like I was an astronaut.
Let me get this. You actually flew in space.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. For
Okay, I'm blown away.
as NASA's guest.
Oh my gosh, how long did it take?
Because I recruited the first minority and women astronauts for the space shuttle program.
Oh my gosh.
I took off a year of my career to recruit and to put them through their paces and finally present to NASA. When I sent all of my recruits in, the number of them, NASA said, stop. We've got so many qualified women, we don't know who to choose.
Did you have to train to go up in space? Did they train you? I'm assuming they
I'm
probably
an actor.
did. Okay.
Yes. You had a limited amount that you have to do because you're a guest. I didn't run it.
I need your job. Next question.
We have about 5 minutes left.
Okay. We'll go faster.
I was told
Loud.
Put that microphone right in her mouth. There we go.
Okay. I was told that you knew Duke Ellington and that you sang with him. How was that?
Oh.
I'm going to ask you to sing if that's true.
Yeah.
Lady sings the blues something.
I come from the theater, so in the theater you do everything. So I was a singer, I was a professional dancer, I was a ballerina, and I was an actor, and I also write and do other things. But
do you still sing?
Yes. And so it was not difficult for me, because it was what I do in the theater. I sing and dance and write and create and act and all those goodies.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to sing. It's really burning in me to get you to sing, but I'll push past it. Next question.
Yes. The first interracial kiss with William Shatner.
Okay.
Were you prepared for it?
Were you prepared for that first interracial kiss
with
William Shatner?
With William Shatner.
Were you prepared to kiss this man on television?
My grandfather looked like Bill Shatner, and my grandmother looked like me. What, big deal. Okay. That's how I got here. Okay. We've got every color in the rainbow in my family. I don't know from race.
Next question.
Just don't call me out of my race.
Next question.
At the time you were playing Uhura,
Louder.
At the time you were playing Uhura, did you feel like you were paving the way for future African American actresses? And if so, did that affect how you portrayed her on TV?
I don't know how to answer that except for yes and no. In the one way, I think I understand what you're saying, and yes, you have a responsibility, but to your race and to your sex. But that's not the be-all, end-all, that you have a responsibility to your craft. And so when you not make it one or the other, they all combine to take all the little parts and make it a whole.
Next question.
Of all the villains that were in the original series and in the movies you played in, who was your favorite villain, so to speak? A lot of folks would probably say Khan, but I don't know. What was your favorite villain?
Who was your favorite villain in all the movies that you've played in?
Every character that I've played plays a most important part of my life when I'm doing it.
But the villains, the bad
whether
people.
A villain or an angel or a
Who was your
mother
favorite?
of 10 children, you have to go to the reality of what it is that you're doing. From the script that you're doing. You're dedicated to that.
But who was your favorite villain, opposite character?
Yeah,
that you
like
liked?
Lieutenant Uhura versus Khan.
It's hard to answer. They're who they are, and I'm who I am. My character's who she is. And it depends on what the script is saying. Now, if I hated the script, I could go into them and talk to them and explain why it shouldn't be that way. But the writers were so fantastic. I think I might have had one or two ever complaints. And it wasn't really a complaint. It was just to make it stronger.
You're up next.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so when most people see you, first thought in our mind is Lieutenant Uhura. Do you ever feel limited by that? Do you ever feel like you wish people saw you in a different way other than Lieutenant Uhura?
I'm not.
Like how Leonard Nimoy once wrote, I'm
People
not
see
Spock.
you as Lieutenant Uhura. Had you ever wished that they had seen you as another character, as something else other than just Lieutenant Uhura?
No. Because at least I'm known by somebody. It means that I created the character strong enough to carry long past just being on TV. And I'm very proud of that. I like the gal.
Next question.
Hi.
Gosh, you got a deep voice and you're tall. Okay, go ahead.
Do you still stay in contact with Captain Kirk at all?
Do you still stay in contact with who? Louder.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Do I
you still
what?
stay in touch?
Oh, with all of them. Yes, we're a family. Yeah, we may talk about them, each other, but don't you? Not to me.
That's how families are.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're wrapping up. Shay, are we wrapping up? Yes. Okay. All right.
So which one?
And a word from our sponsors. No, just kidding. But seriously, don't forget to stop by Nichelle's table and get her autograph, take a picture with her, have a lot of fun, maybe continue the conversation. And thank you so much for coming out to the Heart of Texas Comic Con. Of course, this was made possible by our sponsors, Bankston's Comic Books and Collectibles, and they're located on Valley Mills. And, of course, us, KWTX, we are your local CW station. And also, don't forget to like @TheHotCon on Twitter and follow these guys on Facebook. Thank you so much. And thank you
It's
so
been
much.
wonderful being with you, and thank you for being there. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Pleasure.